Alright, rotations. I've had a couple of questions about rotations, so I thought I'd do a quick video to explain to you. Now, rotations is a bit different. I haven't done it in a PowerPoint because I need to be able to rotate my page. So, I'm going to do this one right here. Rotate this shape 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Now remember, about the origin means we're rotating around the middle point. The middle point is the origin, and it just means we're rotating it around the origin. That just means that every point should be the same distance away from the origin. So, this is how I like to do it. I find it the easiest way. The first thing I like to do is identify for myself which quadrant the shape is going to end up in. So, I know a clock goes around this way, so that's a clockwise direction. And I know that 90 degrees means it moves one quadrant. So 90 degrees would be one quadrant, 180 would be moving two quadrants, and 270 would be moving three quadrants. And of course 360 would mean it doesn't move at all. So I've got one quadrant, because it's 90 degrees, and clockwise, so this direction. Alright, so that means I'm starting here, and I'm moving one quadrant kind of to the left, if you think about it. So that means that my final one, which I'm going to put in, I'm going to find colour. Forgot how to get a new colour. My final one is going to end up in this quadrant here. So when I finish the shape, sorry about my dogs, they are in their own little fight club on my bed. Alright, when I've moved the shape, the new shape should be in that quadrant, which is quadrant 3. But I'm going to ignore the number of the quadrants for now, and I'm just going to look at the actual shapes. So this is what I do. Once I've figured out where it's going to go, I literally turn my page, which I can't really do on my iPad, but I'm going to turn it like this, until the shape I'm working with is in quadrant 1. So you can see how this is quadrant 1. So legitimately it's not, because this is X and this is Y, but the way I'm looking at it right now, it looks like it's in quadrant 1. That's what I do first. Then I need to take note of all the labels. Now, yours will probably be labeled with letters F, G, H. Okay, and I need to take note of the position of that letter in terms of the origin. So what do I mean by that? Well, A, to get from A to the origin, I go 2 to the right and 1 up. So I write 2 right, 1 up. To get to B is 2 to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Do you see what I'm doing? C is 4 to the right and 4 up. 4 right, 4 up. D, 4 up, 4 right, 3 up. E, 5 right, 3 up. F, 5 right, 2 up. G, why did I pick a shape with so many letters? That's right. 4 right, 1 up. Okay, so once I've written my list, it's kind of a list of instructions. And it tells me from the origin. So you've got to remember, you have to start at the origin. Start at origin and then go towards the shape. Once you've done that, you turn your book so the quadrant you're ending up in is now in quadrant 1. So the quadrant where I have to end up in, which is this one, is now in quadrant 1. Then I look at my instructions and I do the instructions again. Pick a green. Okay, I do the instructions again. So A is 2 right, 1 up. So I go 1, 2, up, A prime. B is 2 right, 4 up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, B prime. C, 4 right, 4 up, C prime. D, 4 right, 3 up, D prime. E, 5 right, 1, 2, 3 up, E. Now the key is that sometimes when you get to this stage, you can look at it and go, oh, I can see the shape. I'm gonna just fill it in and not do the steps. Sometimes you can actually end up drawing the wrong shape, or you can draw a reflection rather than the actual shape. And so that's not a good plan. It is better to follow the steps for every single point, and that's for any transformation, I mean. Then using a ruler, but unfortunately can't use a ruler in this function, well, that I know of, you then join up your lines as a shape. The next step is really important. I go back, I put my book back into the right original space. I look at it and I check, first of all, is it in the right quadrant? And second of all, does the shape look like it's been turned? So I can see my shape looks like it's been rotated, okay? And this one was 2 away from the line, and now it's 2 away from the line. So I kind of think that it's all right. So that's how you rotate. So if you got that and it was super easy, stop watching and go practice many times, because rotating is quite complicated. I do know that. But you will only have to do it around the origin, and it will only be either 90, 180, 270, and clockwise or anti-clockwise. If you're still a bit confused, I'll try to do another one. I might try do this one. Oh, that's a 90 degrees. I'll do this one here. So if you're still confused, stick around and we'll go again. But if you get it, go and practice now. All right, so let's remember the steps. First thing, identify how many you're going to turn by. 90. 90 is 1 quadrant, so I'm moving 1 quadrant. Then I figure out the direction. Counterclockwise. Counterclockwise or anti-clockwise means in the direction of not the clock, right? So the clock goes round kind of to the right, so anti-clockwise is this way. So that's the way I'm going to move. So I'm moving 1 quadrant in the counterclockwise direction. So it's going to end up here in quadrant 1 when I'm done. That's where it should end up. Now, yours should be labeled as I said, but I'm going to label them A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, what do we do next? We turn our page. So we literally turn our page, and so the object we're looking at is in what we can see as quadrant 1. So as we look at it, it looks like it's quadrant 1. And we write out the steps for each of our letters. Remember, we start at the origin and map the journey from the origin. If you start at the dot and then go towards the origin, you'll get it wrong. You have to start at the origin. So start at the origin, and A is 1 up. B is 2 up. C is 1, 2, 3 to the right and 2 up. D is 3 to the right and 4 up. E, 4 to the right and 4 up. And F is 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right and 1 up. Now this is just a code that I use for myself. You can write it fully out. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. Once I've got my map, my coordinates, my rule for each letter, then I turn it back so that my final quadrant is in front of my face in the 1 quadrant position. And now I just follow those instructions. So A was 1 up. So I start at the origin and I go 1 up. That's A prime. B is 2 up. 1, 2. B prime. C was 3 right and 2 up. 1, 2, 3 right, 2 up. C prime. D, 3 right, 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. D prime. E, 4 right, 4 up. E prime. And F, 4 right, 1 up. F prime. And then I get my ruler and I connect them all up. Okay, once I've done that, I say to myself, has my shape ended up in the right quadrant? Yes. Does it look like it's been turned? Yes. Those are the steps. It's not actually as complicated as we might think, but we need to practice a lot. If you understood and you know what I'm talking about, I would like you to stop watching, go and practice. Otherwise, if you're still confused or you want to see a bit one of a harder one, I'm going to do this one. Okay? But if you get it, go practice. It's more important to practice than to watch. All right, let's see. What are we going to do? 90 degrees. 90 degrees is one movement. Clockwise is around this way. Oopsie. Clockwise is around that way. All right, this one is over 2 quadrants. So I always look at where's the biggest part. The biggest part is there, and I'm moving 1 quadrant clockwise. So the biggest part is going to end up down here. Okay. And a little bit is going to end up in this quadrant, isn't it? All right. Let me label it A, B, C, D, E. So we're going to put the biggest part in quadrant 1. Now we turn it. Oh, look. Oopsie. There, it is already. A, B, C, D, E. So A, 1 to the right, 1 up. 1 right, 1 up. B is 3 to the right, 2 up. C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 right, 1 up. Now, if your shape's always in one quadrant, you're mainly going to have rights and ups. But because our shape goes into a different quadrant, now we're going to have a down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 down. Oh, 4 right, 1 down. And then it is 2 right, 1 down. All right, we've got a list of steps. We've got to list our rules. Now we turn it so that our final quadrant, which we know from the highlight, is in quadrant 1. And then we go back over here and we look at our rules and we follow our rules. And we do what our rules say. So our rule says A is 1 right, 1 up. A prime. B says 3 to the right, 2 up. B prime. C is 5 to the right, 1 up. C prime. D is 4 to the right and 1 down. D prime. E 2 to the right, 1 down. E prime. Get my ruler. Rule it up. Go back to my original. Does it look like it's moved into the correct quadrant? Yes. Does it look like it has been rotated? Yes. That is how we rotate shapes. Now go and practice that many, 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 many times. All right. See you later.